Yo guys, what's going on and welcome back to another FPL video, and in today's one we're going to be rating your FPL drafts. Alright guys, so this is the first draft that we're going to be looking at, and it was sent in through Instagram by WHU_Ron, and I'm probably going to be doing another video like this, so if you want me to rate your teams then make sure you do follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As you can see, my usernames are on screen right now. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed when looking at this draft is that there is no Haaland or Salah, and I'm not going to lie, that absolutely stinks. Now, I'm no expert at FPL, I just want to make that very clear, but in my opinion, you need at least one of Haaland or Salah in your FPL drafts. I think you're playing a very risky game going without Haaland or Salah. I mean, Liverpool have some of the best fixtures to start the Premier League season. They play the likes of Ipswich away, Brentford at home, Forest at home, Bournemouth at home in their first 6 games, so the fixtures are really good, and we know that Mohamed Salah is a proven goal scorer for Liverpool in the Premier League, so going without Salah is a bit crazy in my opinion, especially when you don't have Haaland. And of course, we know how good Manchester City are in the Premier League. Now, if you think that Haaland is too expensive, I do understand that, because he is coming in at 15 million this year.
It's impossible. It's not, we cannot afford it.
But in my opinion, if you're not going to go for Haaland for that City attack, then you should definitely find a way to get Phil Foden in to cover those City fixtures. Because, for example, in game weeks 2, 3 and 4, where they've got Ipswich, they've got West Ham and Brentford, these are games where City can score 3, 4, 5 goals, especially the Ipswich game, you know, and City could easily win that game like 6-0, and you're going to have no City attackers, because in your team you've literally got no Foden, no Haaland, and these guys have potential to get massive returns in the first few game weeks. So yeah, man, in my opinion, you definitely need one of the two, Haaland or Foden, to cover that City attack, and then you need one of the two, Haaland or Salah, in my opinion, man, because I think going without Salah and Haaland is absolutely insanity in my opinion. But yeah, in defense, my first initial thought is that Pedro Porro has to go.
He has to go, blood.
Like, seriously, bro. Spurs had a leaky defense and conceded so many goals last season. So I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think Pedro Porro has to go.
Get it!
However, Trent Alexander-Arnold, in my opinion, is a great pick. Honestly, the fixtures for Liverpool, like I mentioned earlier, are absolutely amazing. So I think at the price of 7 million, Trent can be a really good option. We also know that Trent Alexander-Arnold has a high potential for attacking returns, as he is a defender that likes to get high up the pitch, provides a lot of goals and assists, which in return gets a lot of FPL points, especially if he can combine those attacking returns with clean sheets. Then we could be looking at some mega hauls. But yeah, I really do like Trent Alexander-Arnold as a pick, and he's definitely someone that I'm strongly considering for my game week 1 team. So yeah, big thumbs up from me for that pick. I really do like it. And then Trippier at the back, I'm not really too sure what I think about Trippier. Honestly, guys, I think he's good, but at the same time, I think he's a pretty bad pick. I mean, he's coming in at 6 million this year, and first thing I'll say is I think that you can get better players for 6 million. I think the Arsenal defense, you know, Gabriel, Saliba, and also Gavardia from Manchester City, I think those are better picks. So I would probably spend my 6 million there if I was going to pick a 6 million defender instead of going for Trippier. I think, you know, obviously I'm not sure because it's pre-season and we don't know, but I have a feeling that Trippier may get rotated a bit more this season with the likes of Livramento coming through. So yeah, it's just not really someone that I would go for. I think someone like Dan Burn maybe at 4.5 or maybe Shah at 5.5 is a better option than Trippier, but I don't think I would go there if I'm honest with you, bro. Now, for the midfield, I do quite like it for the most part. I mean, we've got Cole Palmer in there. We've got Anthony Gordon, Saka, Eze. Those 4 players I really do like. Kudus, on the other hand, I'm not really so sure. I mean, judging by your Instagram name, I'm guessing you're a West Ham fan, which I kind of understand. That's probably why you've gone for Kudus, because he is a good player, don't get me wrong, and he does play for your club. But the fixtures for West Ham, I'm not sure if they're the best, and I think for 6.5, you could definitely get better than Mohamed Kudus, in my opinion. I think someone that I spoke about a lot recently is Morgan Gibbs-White. He is someone that I'm a big fan of, and I think I'll be going with him in my game week 1 team as well. I think the fixtures for Nottingham Forest are absolutely amazing, and we know that Morgan Gibbs-White does take all set pieces and penalties for Nottingham Forest, so he does provide a great attacking threat, and I think at the start of the season, Morgan Gibbs-White will be a great value player, and I just prefer him over Kudus. But of course, that is just my opinion. Like I said, I am no expert, guys, alright? I'm just a guy that loves FPL, just like you guys watching this video. But yeah, man, the other players in midfield though, like I said, Palmer, Gordon, Saka, Eze, fantastic options. Obviously, Palmer being the highest scoring FPL player last season, in my opinion, is a must-have. I think he's a class option. Carried Chelsea on his back last season, getting so many goals, so many assists. He is definitely someone that I think everyone should be having in their Game Week 1 teams, because the fixtures for Chelsea are also amazing. Obviously, yes, Enzo Maresca is the new manager now. We don't know how good Chelsea are going to be, but last season Chelsea weren't great, and yet still somehow Cole Palmer managed to get all those FPL points. So yeah, man, I think Palmer's a great pick. I like Gordon as well. The fixtures for Newcastle are pretty good. Gordon was absolutely cooking last season, so I do like that pick. And the same goes for Saka, cooking last season as well. We know how good Saka is, and the fixtures are pretty decent for Arsenal. Game weeks 1 to 3 are pretty decent. I know that Villa game in game week 2 is pretty tough, but it's definitely not a fixture where he can't score or can't assist in. So yeah, man, I think Saka's a good pick, and I really do like Eze as well. He was very good under Oliver Glasner last season, getting loads of goals, loads of assists. He also does take penalties for Crystal Palace as well, which is very nice. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that midfield, and yeah, I really do like it. But moving on into the front two, so we've got Isak there, we've got Ollie Watkins. I really do like that. Isak, in my opinion, just like I said with Cole Palmer, he's probably someone that's going to be in my Game Week 1 team. Alexander Isak, great fixtures. We know he's going to play on penalties. This man is just, like, in my opinion, he's an absolute must-have. So I really do like that pick. And Watkins as well, a very good option. He done really good last season. And I think at the price of 9 million, he's a great pick, in my opinion. So yeah, overall, like, the team is good, but it's not good. I think for the main thing, you don't have a Haaland or Salah or a Phil Foden, so I think that's where you've gone wrong. Obviously, the bench, you've got quite cheap options. You've got João Pedro on there, who might be injured. I'm hearing a lot of things about João Pedro being injured. I don't know if that means he'll miss Game Week 1. So I'm not going to speak too much on his injury because I don't know the full details of it. I don't know if he'll miss Game Week 1, but if he does miss Game Week 1, then you'd probably want to transfer him out for someone like Armstrong at 5.5 maybe. But yeah, I'm not going to speak too much on the injury because I don't know if the injury means he's going to miss Game Week 1 or not. I don't think that's confirmed yet at the time of recording. But yeah, overall the team is okay. You've got Soufal in there. I would probably switch Soufal for a Konsa because of the rotation between Newcastle and Aston Villa. They rotate well from a defensive point of view. So I would definitely consider switching Soufal to Konsa. But like I said, I'm guessing you're a West Ham fan because you've got 3 West Ham players in there as well. So I respect it, man. You're just backing your club. I hear it, bro. I do respect it. But yeah, overall, I think the main points I'd say is just get Haaland or get Salah in there, man. I think you definitely need one of those 2 players. But yeah, that's just the main thing I will say. That's the main takeaway you should have from this is get Haaland in, get Salah in, or just get one of those 2 in. And if you choose Salah, then I would advise going for Foden. And yeah, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this first draft in the comments down below, and let's move on to the next one. Alright, so on to team number 2, and this one was sent in by Nay_Aldo10. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I actually think this is a very good team. He's gone for quite an expensive goalkeeper duo with Raya at 5.5 and Sells on the bench at 4.5. Now, I'm not too sure if I would spend 5.5 on a goalkeeper, but if I was to spend that much on a goalkeeper, it probably would be Raya, because Arsenal last season did prove that they are one of the best defenses in the league, and Arsenal did also get the most clean sheets in the Premier League. So I kind of understand the Raya pick, but if you're going to go for Raya, I don't think I would have a 4.5 goalkeeper on the bench as well. I think you're putting a bit too much into the goalkeeper positions. That's just my humble opinion. I would personally downgrade Sells to a 4 million keeper if you're going to choose Raya and spend the money elsewhere. But yeah, overall, obviously Raya is still a good option in goal. And now moving on into the defense, he's got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I absolutely love. I spoke about him in the last draft that we spoke about. Lisandro Martinez though. Now, I'm going to have to put my Manchester United fan bias to the side for a second. As much as I don't want to, I'm going to have to do it because Last season, we were absolutely poor. Like, genuinely, we were absolutely disgraceful, especially from a defensive point of view. I think we conceded the most shots out of any team in the Premier League. I think Onana had to face one of the most shots in the Premier League. So from a defensive point of view, we were absolutely shocking. So to start the season, I'm not really sure if Lisandro Martinez is the best pick for a 4.5. Obviously, you do have Konsa in there already, but I would maybe go for someone else. You know, there's a lot of 4.5s out there. You know, you've got your Crystal Palace defenders like Anderson, Mitchell. You've also got Robinson from Fulham at 4.5, who's a pretty decent option as well. You've got Mikalenko from Everton at 4.5, and Everton were much better defensively than Man United last season. I think Everton got the second most clean sheets, if I can remember correctly, last season. So yeah, that Lisandro Martinez pick, I'm not too sure about it at the moment. I probably wouldn't go there to start the season. I'd definitely wait to see how Man United perform, because last season, like I said, defensively, we were absolutely dreadful. I absolutely love this midfield though, I'm not going to lie. I really do like it. Yes, I know there is no Phil Foden, unfortunately, which is my only negative about this midfield, but I really do love it. It's got a lot of players that I like. Salah, Gordon, Gibbs White, Cole Palmer, I think are all great options, honestly. But I want to speak about Morgan Gibbs White, and I'm glad that you've picked him, because this is someone that I feel like people are sleeping on. Okay, people are sleeping on Morgan Gibbs White, in my opinion. I really do think he's a great option. The fixtures for Nottingham Forest are absolutely amazing, and of course he takes set pieces, he takes penalties, and just generally he's a very good player. All right, I think he's going to be at the heart of the open play attacks for Nottingham Forest. I think Morgan Gibbs White is probably their best player. I just think he's a great option, honestly. To start the season with, I don't see why not. And also, if things don't go well, there's the option there to switch straight to Nkunku, who's also 6.5, assuming that he doesn't go up in price. So yeah, I just really do like the Morgan Gibbs White pick, man. Bournemouth at home in game week 1, Southampton away in game week 2, Wolves at home in game week 3. Some really good opening fixtures there. I think it's definitely worth the risk, if you want to say it. If you think it's a risk to go Morgan Gibbs White, it's definitely worth that risk to try and go with him at the start of the season. So yeah, and of course Cole Palmer there is a great pick. I shouldn't really have to say too much about this guy, man. The fixtures for Chelsea are brilliant, and like I said, man, he last season was absolutely amazing. So yeah, man, I do like the Cole Palmer pick, and I do like that midfield as a whole. Now with the front three, I think this is actually the first time I've seen Wissa in a draft, guys. All right, I don't think I've seen anyone put Wissa in a draft, and you know what? I'm not against it. I actually quite like it. The fixtures for Brentford in the first 3 games are pretty good. Palace at home, which is a good fixture, and then Southampton at home in game week 3. Yes, in between that, he's got Liverpool away. That's probably the biggest downside about picking Wissa, is that you're probably going to have to play him against Liverpool away. But honestly, I really do like it. I think he's going to be a differential, and last season, Wissa did show that he is someone that can score goals. He bagged 12 goals last season, got 4 assists as well. So he is definitely someone that can score. So I do actually quite like that Wissa pick, and we'd assume that he will be in the starting lineup as well. But yeah, Ollie Watkins and Alexander Isak, I think both are fantastic picks. One last point that I want to make about this team is I actually quite like the bench a lot. Rodgers at 5 million is a very good pick in my opinion. He has been absolutely cooking in pre-season, scoring lots of goals for Aston Villa. So yeah, I think that's a really good option if he can solidify a starting place in that Villa starting 11. Yeah, so I do like that Rodgers pick, and of course he'll rotate well with the squad. And Barco as well. I believe Estupiñán will miss the start of the season, so Barco at 4 million, if he can solidify a starting place in that Brighton starting 11, I think he's a great option as well. I think the new Brighton manager had a very good defensive record with his previous club, so that's something to look forward to there with Barco. I mean, he could be an absolute gem at 4 million. But overall, I quite like the team. Obviously, I would definitely recommend trying to fit Phil Foden in if you can, to cover that Man City attack. But yeah, other than that, it's a really good draft, and yeah, I really do like it. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so this team was sent in by Joe Dilly _17. Thank you very much for sending your team, bro. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my initial thoughts with this team is that it's a very good draft. So it's gone for Robert Sanchez in the goalkeeper position, and I do like that option a lot. If he can keep his place in Chelsea starting 11 as the main number 1, then I think he's a great option for a set and forget goalkeeper. At the time of recording, Enzo Maresca has pretty much made it clear that he wants Sanchez as his number one. However, I think Chelsea are looking to go in for a keeper to just basically keep him on his toes, that can and basically so they can find a keeper that can compete with Sanchez. But I think as it stands, Sanchez is still the number one. But I just believe that there is potential if he does bad that he can be dropped for another keeper. I think that's the plan that Chelsea have for Robert Sanchez. So if he does well and keeps his place, I think that's a good option. Now in defense, you've got Saliba, Mikalenko, and Joachim Anderson. I really like the Saliba pick. Like I said when talking about Raya last season, Arsenal were the best defensive team in the league. They got the most clean sheets, and we all watched them as well. Even on the eye test, not only by stats, but also on the eye, Arsenal defensively were absolutely incredible. So I do like Saliba. Now, I would prefer Gabriel, but I can understand why you've gone for Saliba. I think with the signings that Arsenal are looking to make, you know, Calafiori, people are questioning whether that means, you know, that increases Gabriel's chance of maybe being on the bench. Now, I don't really think that's the case. I still think Gabriel will be the starting centre-back next to Saliba, but I can understand people's concerns, and I think if there's anyone from the Arsenal back line that definitely will not be dropped, it is Saliba, so that's fair enough. But I personally prefer Gabriel because I feel like the attacking threat from set pieces is much better with Gabriel, but nonetheless, Saliba is still a fantastic pick in my opinion. Now, moving on into the midfield, I'm not going to lie, I do like it, but there's one small problem. There is no Cole Palmer in this midfield, and in my opinion, that is a massive red flag. In my opinion, the fixtures are great for Chelsea, and I think even at 10.5 million, Cole Palmer is a really good option. Yeah, I would find a way to try and fit Cole Palmer into this draft. I mean, you've got Foden and Haaland, so maybe you could get rid of Foden since you've got Haaland already. You could get rid of Foden and upgrade him to Cole Palmer, because Cole Palmer, in my opinion, is slightly better than Foden. Well, actually, I think he is a better option than Foden because he's on the set pieces, he's on the penalties. We know that Foden doesn't take penalties. So yeah, I would prefer Cole Palmer. Now, what you could do to get Cole Palmer in, if you actually want to have him in your team, you could downgrade João Pedro, who's on your bench. You could downgrade him to a 4.5 million striker, and then upgrade Foden to Cole Palmer at 10.5. That's probably what I would do, but to be honest, that's the only problem I really have with this midfield. Other than that, I really do like it. You've got Bukayo Saka in there. He was a really good FPL option last year. He bagged a total of 16 goals and 12 assists, and we know how good Saka is. We know how good Arsenal are. So yeah, I really do like Saka as an option, especially for those first 3 games where he's got Wolves at home, Villa away, and then Brighton at home. I think they are very good fixtures from an FPL point of view. Saka can definitely return in those. So yeah, I really do like that. Rodgers as well, I spoke about him within the last draft. A great option, a great value option at 5 million, especially if you can keep his place in the Aston Villa starting 11. And then Gordon and Eze are also great picks in my opinion. Now with the front two, of course, he's got Erling Haaland and Isak, and I think both are fantastic options. Obviously, there is a big talking point around Erling Haaland. Is he worth 15 million? Nah, mate. I'm not too sure. One side is saying, a part of me is saying, yes, Erling Haaland is still a must-have. Go get him. He is worth it. But another part of me is thinking, nah, I really don't think so. It's a tough one, but I mean, at what point does Erling Haaland become, you know, not worth it? You know, because 15 million is a lot of money. It really is a lot of money. So I'm still undecided whether I'm going to go with Haaland. But nonetheless, he still is a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. So I get why anyone would pick him. And of course, there's no Salah in this draft. There is no Liverpool attack in this draft, which some people might say is a negative. Now, for me, unless the only Liverpool attacker I would put in this team is Mohamed Salah, because I do love Jota as an option. But the problem is, at this moment in time, we don't know who's going to be the starting players in that front three. So we know Salah's going to start on the right hand side, but who's going to be the starting number 9? Who's going to be the starting left wing? Some people are saying it's going to be Gakpo. Some people are saying it's going to be Luis Diaz or Nunes. But at the end of the day, we just simply don't know at this point in time. So until it's made very clear who is going to be the starting left winger and the starting striker for Liverpool, I don't really want to go anywhere near their players. I'd rather just go for the safe option for Mohamed Salah. But yeah, if someone like Jota was a consistent starter, I would definitely recommend picking him. But yeah, overall, I really do like this team. Obviously, Isak is a class option as well. I think the team is really good. But like I said, I would just recommend going for Cole Palmer. Other than that, I think it's a balanced team. And Rodgers is definitely a good pick at 5 million if he can consistently start. What I will say is, if he doesn't consistently start, I would actually recommend, for the same price point, Amad Diallo. Now, some people might laugh at me for saying that, but as a United fan, I think Amad Diallo will be starting in that right wing position week in, week out this season. So if he does start, I think at 5 million, I think it'll be a pretty good option. But that's just only if Rodgers doesn't play. And to be honest with you, I actually think Rodgers will play. But I just thought I'd give you that alternative option. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this rating your FPL teams video. If you want me to rate your teams, then like I said, make sure to follow me on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram and Twitter especially. Make sure you guys send me those DMs of your FPL teams. But yeah, let me know what you think of the free drafts that you saw, and also comment down below. Will you guys be going for Erling Haaland? Let me know what your thoughts and feelings on that. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.